We really enjoyed that. We actually broke them into 2 groups so that we could have an opportunity to hear everything they wanted to tell us, and 37 teachers. Total of 117 people were at our interviews. I do not remember ever having an interview. Do you, Dr. Pope, where we had that many stakeholders?
It's the largest number.
The largest.
I win a prize or something.
We are looking at the different domains: teaching and learning impact. The external team examines student performance results, instructional quality, learner and family engagement, support services for student learning, the quality and efficacy of your curriculum, and college and career readiness data. We came up with a powerful practice for this. Remember, that's the highest that you can get. Specific individual student needs are consistently examined and steps are taken to meet those needs. Okay, we're looking at standard 3 with this domain. Using a variety of data sources, you also had another powerful practice. Leadership systematically reports to all stakeholders the conditions that support student learning. And your principal does a fabulous job with that. Kudos to you, my dear. We recognize an opportunity for improvement. And we came up with this decision because of the way your school is growing. We would recommend, and remember, this one's just a recommendation. You don't need to write these down, Karen, because I'm going to give you a copy of this.
Sure.
To create a formal structure whereby each student is well known by an adult who supports the student's educational experience. After interviewing the students, we realized that most of you know every student in this building by name. And they really feel like they can come to you if they have a problem, whether it be a personal problem or an educational issue. But as you grow, to have a formal structure where each teacher is responsible for, I don't know, 10, 15 students, that they may follow through. We've worked with some schools where they have the same advisor, for lack of a word, teacher, that may mentor with them from the time they're in a lower grade all the way through, and as if you add higher grades. Because you have a high demand here for your services, so that day will come. Well, we looked at the Elliots. These are the scores on your Elliots, your observations. We do not give out copies of the observations to the principal afterwards. We were not observing teachers. I can't stress that enough. When we go in a classroom, we are observing students and seeing what the students are doing. We have here the Advanced Ed Network average versus what your score was. As an equitable learning environment, you had 2.35 with the average network at 2.69. High expectations, 2.75 versus the network of 2.81. A supportive learning environment, Everest had 3.17 there, with the network average being 3.06. You have a very supportive environment here. Active learning environment, 2.72, with 2.94 being the network average. Progress monitoring and feedback environment, 2.60, with the network average 3.07, and I would like to address those in just a second. Well-managed learning environment, your students are very respectful, very well behaved. Your teachers manage the classrooms very well. 3.54 versus the network average of 3.13. And your digital learning environment, 1.56 with a network average of 1.82. First of all, the digital learning environment. Your technology is amazing. Your school is by far the most up to date with the technology that you have here. It's fabulous. But you need to remember when we're doing the Elliots, who are we watching? The students. We're not watching the teachers using the computers, the smart boards. We are observing the students actually using it. And I know in the classroom that I was in, there was a student using smart boards. It was very wonderful, but we're in there for a 20-minute snapshot. So we're not going to see every student using technology when we're in there. We don't expect to. By that same token, when we looked at the supportive learning environment and active learning environment, when you look and you think, our scores are a little low there. There again, stop and remember, we're only in there for 20 minutes. Some of our team, I know one team member was in a classroom where they were taking a test. Well, if they're doing an assessment, it's not an active learning environment. You're not going to have the opportunity to observe the students, you know, learning anything at that point. They're taking a test. I know another, I observed a library. So that is not an indication at all. The team was very surprised when we saw those scores because we realized you have a very active learning environment and a very supportive learning environment. Leadership capacity, which is actually standard 2. The external review team examined institutional purpose and direction, governance and leadership, effectiveness, stakeholder engagement, improvement capacity, and results. Powerful practice time here. Your leadership and staff foster a culture consistent with the school's purpose and direction. There's no one in this room that does not know your mission and your vision. That was very evident, and it comes from the board to you, to your staff, your parents. Absolutely a powerful practice. Another powerful practice, look at this, you're getting all these powerful practices. Establishes processes for supervising and evaluating staff, contribute to student performance. Okay? Your supervision is absolutely fabulous. Processes that you have for evaluating staff. I can't say enough wonderful things about your principal,
Yes.
as well as that was reflected in all of our stakeholder groups, all the way through. An improvement priority. We have to have one improvement priority every school we go to. We would like to have you develop measurable objectives for mathematics and English language arts to ensure all students are meeting or exceeding academic expectations. And we have spoke to your principal and really explained this in detail. You have an abundance of data. You do a fabulous job in collecting your data. Now just setting goals for improvement on your current scores, the percentages that you're going to improve. It's all in what you're doing with that data once you've accumulated it. But the way you do your benchmarks, you are doing an absolutely fabulous job here. This is just going to be a detail. Resource utilization. Standard 4, the external review team examined allocation, use of resources, equity of resource distribution to need, the level and sustainability of resources, the long-range capital resource planning effectiveness. We looked completely through Standard 4. We didn't have any powerful practices or recommendations at all within your Standard 4. Then we look at the Index of Education Quality. The impact of teaching and learning on student performance, Standards 3 and 5. Capacity of leadership to guide and ensure effectiveness in carrying out the strategic direction of the institution, Standard 2, correct me, but 1 and 2. Utilization of resources to meet the diverse needs of the students and the institution, Standard 4. Uses a tool for formative analysis and continuous improvement. It connects. This is where they all come together. The conditions, processes, and practices to evidence, including student performance. This is your big number. Remember, we have 32,000 schools and institutions. Your overall score, 3.1744. The advanced ed network average is 2.7834. You're extremely high overall. Teaching and learning impact, 1 and 3 standards, 3.1714 versus the network average of 2.6894. Your leadership capacity, 3.2909, the network average 2.92.64, resource utilization 300 versus 283. Look at how high your scores are. This is why we got done so early today. I apologize. Your leader had done such an amazing job putting the report together. We weren't digging around for hours trying to find things. Everything was laid out very easy for us to find. I honestly think, me personally, and I'll ask Dr. Pope to chime in, I've never been out of school with this high of scores.
It's very high.
It's very high. Certainly a private school. The IEQ results indicate the institution is obviously within acceptable ranges as compared to expected criteria, comparing it to the other institutions at the Advanced Ed Network. With that being said, the external team recommends to the Advanced Ed Accreditation Commission that Everest Academy earn the distinction of accreditation by Advanced Ed for a 5-year term. Yay!
Allahu Akbar.
The improvement priorities, which only had one, must be addressed within 2 years. This is the beginning of a journey of improvement, which is a journey you've already been on. Deliberate and strategic actions to ensure that every child, every day, is being prepared and achieving success for their future. Okay, I can't even begin. I should let Dr. Pope do this, because she's loving your food here so much. We appreciate your hospitality, the support you've given us, your professionalism. We respect, acknowledge the efforts to improve the quality of your institution. We want to congratulate you and the school on completing all the requirements for your accreditation. And, like I said, I will email you so you'll have that, so you can share that presentation with whoever you'd like to. Again, Dr. Pope, did you want to add anything?
It's a wonderful school. I just want to talk about the Elliott one more time, because I know when you looked at those scores, you're thinking, oh my. When we got to discussing this, and Leslie will put this in the report about the areas, a couple of areas that were lower, we're going to state in there. These are the things we saw. We just happened to hit some classrooms that were in an assessment mode. And when you're testing, we can't see the indicators. And it's a 20-minute. Take that out. Don't get hung up on it for me. Don't get hung up. You call me if she gets hung up on it. What you need to look at and concentrate on is that final screen with the IEQ scores. I mean, when the network average, they took every school that was accredited last year and averaged all the scores for every year. When the network average is 268 and you've got a 317, I think that we had one higher, and it was the Michael DeBakey School for Health Sciences in Houston. Well, come on, you know, I think they had a 340, but come on, it was a different thing. This is excellent. It's excellent, and you should be very proud. And I want to tell you, she's already got that stuff done. She came in, she said, "This is what I need to do." I said, "This is it. That's perfect. That's what you see." She's done it. Sometimes in private schools, we don't quantify our successes. The information is there, and your teacher spoke eloquently and very knowledgeably about individual students and what they were doing and what was happening. But we've got to quantify it for Advanced Ed, because they want to say 90% of our children reach 100% of their academic expectations in mathematics at the end of the year. That's a measurable objective, and it's that simple. She's done it. So, all right, everybody breathe and enjoy this moment. And
hold off 1 second here.
Leslie's going to, thank you, Sophia. Leslie's going to email the PowerPoint to you. We have a lot of schools that go in and put it on their website so you can share it with families.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. So my job on the team as the CISNA representative is not only to work with the rest of the team on the advanced ed standards and indicators, but also be looking through the information that you provided for the CISNA standards and assurances. And I have a lot of information, alhamdulillah. Been able to speak to some of the teachers, go through the packets over the binder, the very thick binder that's provided. And I will be providing a report as well. I'll be emailing that to you. But in the meantime, I can tell you that I will be recommending to the CISNA board that the school be duly accredited with a CISNA as well.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Jazakallahu khayran, Allahu Akbar, alhamdulillah.
I'm a Mac person, so I'm just going, oh. I didn't see it come up there. Oh, now it's there. Bless you.
So mashallah, very impressed generally overall, and I think you guys have a great thing going here, and inshallah we'll continue to support and be and continuously improve.
Jazakallah.
Thank you very much for your hospitality.
Thank you so much. I would just like to thank the team for coming out, for their valuable input, for their feedback and suggestion that has already been addressed. But really, we appreciate your time, we appreciate your presence. I'll be able to sleep better tonight. And I'm sure you all will. My anxiety systems are, the stomach that's jetting out is going to go in again, hopefully. But again, I appreciate everybody's presence. It has been a great experience, an opportunity for us to self-reflect, look at ourselves, and try to see what goals we can have to, alhamdulillah, I mean, of course they're not perfect, but we are moving towards it. And that's what's matter. And again, I would like to thank my team for pulling it off, for thanking, I can't thank them enough for bearing with me with my texts at odd times and whatnot, do this, do that, but they were very patient with me all along. I would like to thank my board as well. I was texting yesterday at 12 p.m. or something, but the bottom line, everybody's very supportive, and Everest is a very collaborative environment, and we are very thankful for everybody's
Thank you, Nora. Again, I don't know what to say, but I'd like to have the PTO president, as well as maybe somebody from the teachers can come up and say a couple of words. But before they do that, I really, really want to thank the entire advanced ED team to come over and spend the time and make the effort and go through everything we got. Tremendous job, and we thank you for everything you've done. I think our goal is to always find opportunities to improve, so I think you've given us something to work on. We really look forward to those. But again, as we said, 8 years ago we started this thing, and the whole mission was really about doing something that is different, doing something that matters, and not doing, in our faith, mediocrity has no place for it. If you're doing something, just to do something, it means nothing. Whatever you do, whether you do the very mundane thing or you do very high level thing, it's got to be better than somebody else does it. So that's our way of doing things, but I really want to thank the principal. She's the fundamental core piece. We look at people resources as pieces of the puzzle that makes this thing happen. And those pieces of the puzzle begin with the leadership, and it goes from there. The leadership is all the way down, and I say down not in the mean, but all the way across. And that means the leaders in the class are the teachers, and leaders within the class are the students, and we see them as such. So I really, really appreciate what she's done, the consistency over the 8-9 years, and contribution that she makes day in, day out. It's tremendous, and we thank her for that. May God reward her for that.
Amen.
And I can't say enough about the teachers. I always say we expect more, we expect more, we expect more, because we have a chip on our shoulder. And that chip on our shoulder is that we're new kids on the block in this country, so to speak. I'm here 40+ years, but I still think I'm a new kid on the block. This school is a new kid on the block, and it's got a chip on the shoulder. It needs to prove that we can perform just as well or better than anyone else that's our civil partner. When I came to school here, I did not speak English. I did not compare myself to ESL. I compared myself to my peers, and I always said that if I'm gonna make it, I wanna be compared with everyone else that's in this race. So again, teachers have done a tremendous job. We got a lot more to do. We got a lot more to prove, a lot more people to convince. That doesn't mean that we've accomplished nothing. We accomplished tremendous over the 8-year period. We've done things that other people haven't accomplished, but that doesn't mean we're at a destination. But I would like to have maybe another board member, or somebody from teachers, and also since our APTO president is here, if she can say a couple words before I leave. Again, thank you so much for coming. Thank you to all of you. What you're doing, I cannot tell you what it means to the community and its success and its growth. And I think that's what it's all about. So Jazakallah khair, thank you so much again, and thank you to everyone that's part of this effort, inshallah. I think somebody from teacher, I don't want to pick on anybody, but anybody that feels like saying a couple of words, okay, now this is you.
Thank you all. Thank you for the, for the confirmation that you gave us. We are moving, but knowing that you are moving in the right direction, that's a big thing, And inshallah, it's a journey, and we have to keep going on forward, inshallah. Full speed. Thank you once again.
Thanks again.
Allahu Akbar. Thank you very much all.